Hey everybody, this is Mr. Lopez. I hope everyone's doing well. We are in week 3 of our ELD lessons, so I hope everyone's keeping up with week 1 and 2. If you haven't done week 1, make sure again that you go back, then go through and for sure uh, watch the videos and complete the activities for week 2. Otherwise, you're going to struggle with this week's lesson. Okay? So, go ahead, just like always, I'm gonna turn off my camera here. Have you guys focus on the PowerPoint. So, what are we gonna do this week? If you guys remember last week, what did we do? We read a personal narrative, right? It was about a young girl. And if we don't remember, uh, well, we're going to talk about that here in a second, but it was about a young girl written by Sandra Cisneros, right? She was talking about a moment in her life. Well, it was her birthday specifically, but wasn't she didn't write about her actual birthday party or anything. It was more about an event that happened at school, right? So for this week, as I mentioned last week, now that we've read a good kind of mentor example of what a personal narrative looks like, you guys are going to write your own, right? So for this week, we're going to plan. This is going to be a 2-week lesson, more or less. This week, we're going to plan a narrative, and next week, we're actually going to start writing it, okay? So, what are our objectives this week? For this week, we're not going to necessarily read anything. We are going to review. So we're going to review last week's reading, which is a short story, by writing a summary and how we felt about the story. So just to kind of review, make sure we remember, what the story was about, who was the main character, what happened to her, why was this event that she wrote about so important. Okay. Our focus for this week will actually be writing. So we're going to be brainstorming some ideas for writing our own personal narrative. And we're going to do that by expanding on a specific moment in our life that was important and that meant something to us. So go ahead and start thinking about that. What's something that happened or that has happened in your life that you felt was of great importance or was significant for whatever reason, right? Personal narratives are great because, well, you can write about anything, you know? Um, it's really up to you. And think. So, hopefully, at some point, you think about the question, what are some of the benefits of reading personal narratives that and that we may not be able to get if we just read like the story or read about a character in a book, right? Sandra Cisneros' story, or her narrative 11, it gives you a very different perspective from the fact that it's her own kind of retelling of it. Now, if you read a story about her character and that happening to her, it could be a different point of view, and that would definitely affect our kind of interpretation of what we just read, right? So those are going to be our objectives for this week, for this lesson. Okay, as we begin, or before we begin, I want you to use the following to write a summary of last week's reading. So on this slide, go ahead and you can copy everything that you see here in white. You are allowed to copy everything. The blank parts are what you are going to fill in yourself, okay? So Sandra Cisneros' short personal narrative titled 11 is about blank, a blank character in the story who experiences blank as a young girl. So you will fill those in. One day at school, she blank, causing her to feel what exactly, right? This unique moment she reflects upon as an adult tells us the reader that what? What does that tell us? This moment that you explain in this previous box, right? What does that let us know about her life? Why is it significant? Think about that question that we just looked at in our objectives. I think she chose to write about this event because why? So this last sentence really isn't so much as part of the summary, but more so just kind of your opinion. Why do you think why pick this event? You know, what makes it so significant? There's really no wrong answer to this question because it's your opinion. Okay, so take a few moments, write out your summary. When you're finished, you can pause the video right now. When you're ready, move on to the next slide. Okay, so what will we be doing today? For today, our first step, as we think about something, remember, you're going to be writing your own personal narrative. So this is something about you. I definitely am not going to be able to help you with this, you know, because this is about your life, you know? Think about our first step is going to be thinking about an important moment in our life that we'd like to write about. Now, I'm going to do this with you guys to show you kind of how we can approach this assignment. So, I'm going to take the role, just like you are, of this kind of brainstorm. And as I'm sitting here, I'm trying to think, what's an important moment in my life? You know, there's a lot of them. First time I got a job, my first time I bought, well, the first car I bought, you know, when I was 16, 17. When I graduated from college, um, when I got my first job. I mean, there's really anything you want to write about, and it doesn't even have to be that. It could be in a moment, you know, when I had a fight with my mom. I mean, it could be literally anything. Brainstorm. Step number 2, brainstorm by filling out the graphic organizer to help you plan as you generate ideas for your personal narrative. So what we're going to do, and this is going to be part of your grade and your assignment for this week, is you're going to be completing a graphic organizer that's laid out in a set of slides that you're going to type into. Okay? So this is just to kind of help you and guide you as you plan this, formulating this idea or this moment that you're going to capture and then write about. Okay? Step 3, complete all slides so that your teacher can understand what moment you wish to capture and write about. So that goes back to completing and answering all the slides and thinking about what it is that you want to expand upon. So this is going to be the activity for this week. Pretty easy. We won't be reading anything. We'll be referring back to that reading. So if you need to go back, excuse me, you can open up the PDF file that has the actual personal narrative to reference, but we're not going to be actually reading anything. Okay. Excuse me. So before we begin, you know, kind of what I was just doing, ask yourself, when did you ever feel a strong feeling of emotion? So think about a time when you felt any of these: anger, sadness, joy, triumph, exhilaration. I mean, we have all felt all of these at some point in our life, right? Um, where we felt maybe we were upset about something, maybe we were sad. Uh, Go ahead and kind of maybe list a few ideas or a few examples of when you felt this, okay? Take a few moments and write down your response. Okay, by this point, we should be finished. Remember, just a reminder, you can pause the video at any time during and stop, and go back to the PowerPoint and fill this stuff in. It's really up to you. Go ahead and just drag this. This is going to be the end of each slideshow, just to kind of give me an idea of how well we did and whether or not I need to make any changes for the future, okay? All right. I will record another video and upload it. Be sure to watch it. That will have a walkthrough of the PowerPoint presentation that you'll be completing for your brainstorm, okay? All right. Make sure you guys watch the second video, and I'll see you in a bit. Thank you.